welcome to the Social Space, the show all about Wichita Falls, Texas, the whole wide world, in our brand new studios. Here at
We wish.
We wish. At the site of used to be what, Jackie Hoegger? Banana Boat?
Yeah, this used to be a kid's store like 29 or 30 years ago.
And you used to come shopping for your kiddos?
Well, I mean, I always shopped at Storkland, but it was an option. But I think I'm like 90% sure it was called Banana Boat.
Banana Boat.
Yeah.
Speaking of boats, Andrew Bell on a boat all
Yes.
Yes.
73 pictures on Facebook.
Oh.
Just fun.
That's where those pictures go.
You'll have a good time over
We had
Memorial
a
Day
wonderful
weekend.
time. Yeah, it was a good family weekend.
Yeah, it looked like it looked like you did. Awesome. Our guest today, before I get to our partners, real quick, Harry Tonemah, thanks for joining us. This is your place.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all coming.
Harry, we're going to get right into it with you as soon as I thank our partners, which
Yeah.
happens to be KAUZ, Channel 6. We air there 10:35 Sunday nights, unless there's sports, sometimes a little bit later. Also on the air audibly, you can hear us, NewsTalk 1290, part of Townsquare Media. Listen along with Greg on the tractor. They should put that in their promos.
We should.
I'm going to send them a new one. Listen along with Greg Hager on the tractor. And then, of course, Sean and Tanya Choate over there,
Yes.
Impact Signs at Falls Truck Center. They're putting our faces on all those buses.
Yes.
They do a
Yeah.
great job rapping and stuff. Okay, so down to business, this beautiful studio, Harry. This is what you're doing now, but what brought you to Wichita Falls all the way back in the 80s?
Oh, in 1982, I applied for a job with the Times Record News. I had just graduated from college and was looking for something to do, anything to do, and I sent out my portfolio to several different places. On the same day that I applied here, I got 2 other calls to come and interview. Went to all of them and then decided to come to Wichita Falls.
Nice, and let me explain to the young kids real quick. The Time Records News, the internet used to be made of paper, which was wood, and that's how you get your information. So he went to her. They're still here,
Yeah.
but you know, the kids might have been confused. Go ahead.
So Harry, you spent 22 years at the Times Record News.
22 years as a photojournalist, but I began as a advertising photographer.
Okay.
And I did advertising for 2 years.
Okay.
At that time, it involved taking the photographs, making them into negatives, and then printing them
Wow.
in color.
Okay.
So that was one of the things that I learned in school, and I was able to print them in color. We gang shot them, made all the pictures, shot one shot, and then put it into the newspaper.
That's
It was a
incredible.
completely different thing than later on in my years, or even now.
So y'all were in a dark room with the red light.
Dark room with
hanging
the
up
lights.
God, remember that?
Yes,
God,
I
exactly.
do
right.
remember that. It was not my strong suit in college.
I used to like photography more back in those days because if you saw a picture of yourself, it was from like a month ago because that's how long it took. And so if you looked like trash, you're like, ugh, that was me a month ago. Now when you see it, it's like from the party you're at. You're like, ugh, this is what I look like right now. Anyways.
So what did you do after the Times and Record News before you opened this shop?
Okay, I went through a couple of things. I worked for Shepherd Air Force Base as one of their photographers for a contractor. Did photographs of anything that they needed out at Shepherd. We photographed the jets taking off, the air shows. We photographed the airmen when they needed an ID photograph. We just did all that in-house right there on Shepherd. After that, I went to work at Life Touch and photographed little children, big children, photographed seniors. I went through the whole process to learn how to photograph all of them.
That's incredible.
You know, I know that back in the days of the Times and Record News, do you remember you would do all those photos for those retail stores?
Oh, yeah.
Remember Dolores Jones and Just Browsing?
Yes.
I miss that era too.
Dolores is very, very kind to me, has wished us well on the studio, and she's one of my dearest friends.
Yeah,
Yes.
she was really spectacular when she did Just Browsing.
So Harry, Dolores was my kind of step grandma for a little
Oh,
bit.
really?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Is
right.
this going to be good
little
stuff?
bit,
That needs to be on
okay.
there.
I love Dolores. too.
Dolores was just vivacious.
Yes.
Is a really good word for her.
Yes.
Anything that she did, she was on it.
You know what I call Dolores? The Joan Rivers of Wichita Falls.
That's right.
She
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
She was just this vivacious personality that had a sharp eye for fashion.
Right.
And at that time, there were so many fashion houses
Oh,
here in
my
Wichita
goodness
Falls.
gracious.
And we all respected and loved each
Yeah.
other. And she was the queen.
And her store was called Just Browsing?
No, she had a full-page publication in the TRN, Times and Record News.
On Sunday mornings.
On Sunday mornings, it would come out every other Sunday, and the whole page would be called Just Browsing, and it would be Dolores's photos of anything that was happening in Wichita.
Yeah, anything
Falls
that was
and
anything.
Fashion.
Yeah.
The fashion that might have
cool.
started in Dallas and just kind of
Yes.
trickled into Wichita Falls so far, she would be on top of it. We'd photograph it, and she'd run it in a space
Yes.
about this big, and she sold advertising to the client
Yes.
in that big of a slice. One column,
Oh,
maybe two
that's
columns.
cool. Oh, that's so
I
And,
smart.
and she would fill the
So
whole
smart.
page.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
And-
cool.
Yeah, it was really, and it could be from dog food to the latest
Yes.
pumps to the best wedding gown.
Yes.
You just never know what she was going to come up
And
with.
Harry was the photographer for a lot of Dolores's visions. So here we are, fast forward. The name of your studio is Suncatcher Studio.
That's right.
Now we are in, let's see, Midwestern Village. What's the name of this?
It's University Village.
University Village. We are right behind Collective Coffee,
Yes.
right behind the Pelican.
Right. Yeah.
So now you can visually see where we are.
Right.
And I want to know how you came up with the name Suncatcher.
Well, I was just trying to integrate the word sun, which is needed for photography, of course, and the studio. So every photographer needs the sun to create the images that they want. The sun provides the exposure. So the natural light that comes within this studio is just really, really spectacular. And getting those two things together, the creativeness of the photographer, the natural light, and making the image, it just can't help but be spectacular for the client.
Yeah, especially today. I mean, it's overcast today, and the light's wonderful in here.
Yeah.
You know, it looks great in here even on overcast.
I
days. It's so
know.
nice and diffused in
But
here.
there's
It's
a
beautiful.
really specific reason, which I know we'll find out next, on why you opened this studio. I'm excited.
Oh, is that a tease? We're going to do that when we come back from the break? All right, we don't usually have those. All right,
I
cliffhanger.
am not here to take your job.
Don't
okay?
change. No, I'm just wondering. Don't change that channel. You're gonna miss out on what was it again? The real reason.
The
why
real
you did that.
reason,
Ooh,
yes.
Okay, we'll be right back with more social space.
Four incredible radio stations. That's who we are. We are Townsquare Media, and we bring the best of radio to the North Texas area. Wake up early with NewsTalk 1290. That's us. How about Kelly Raspberry on 92.9 NIN? Yep, that's us. Bringing you the best of country with 102.3 The Bull. That's us. And rocking it all day long with 106.3 The Buzz. That's us. We are Townsquare Media, and we're proud to be a sponsor of the Social Space.
TV here. Hey, welcome back to the social space. We're here at our new studio, Suncatcher Studio. At least for one night only. Still here with Harry, Tonemah. Got Jackie and Andrew, myself, Eric. Hayden back there on the ones and the twos. No, that's not what that means. He's not spinning records. We are here at Suncatcher Studio. We're about to dive more into it. Before we get going, though, Harry, where'd you get the sign back here that you can change the letters out on back there?
It was just an inspiration from my daughter.
No, but
She's-
where'd you buy it? I want to get one for my
Oh,
apartment.
where did I buy it? We got it on Amazon.
Okay, that's right. I'm gonna go get mine. You just search signs, change
Yeah,
the signs.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, well, there you go. We want you to have a sign.
I am gonna do that. Put rap lyrics on
Harry,
it.
this is not a typical studio where
Right.
you get a photographer and you bring your family in. I love this new vision of a studio. Can you explain about what the process is here?
Sure. I wanted the studio itself to be an entity that the public could use. I wanted to be able to have the amateurs, the semi-pros, and the professionals all be able to rent this space. I wanted them to be able to use any of the props that we have to create their photographs for their clients or for themselves. You could come in and just use your cell phone if you wanted to and take photographs, selfies of any of the places that we have set up. Or if you're a semi-pro or professional, I have electronic lighting, strobes that you can also use for the cost of renting the studio.
That's really great.
Anything that we have here is with the cost of renting the studio.
So I noticed that you even have a podcast room back there. So if somebody wanted to start their own podcast, they wouldn't have to go to that expense. It's soundproof.
Right, right. I've had a lot of folks that have exclaimed, well, I'm doing a podcast, but I'm in the closet.
Yep.
And there's a lot of clothes around me that, I would really rather find somewhere else. Well, that was kind of the inspiration there. To create an area that was comfortable, that person could have a good conversation with, or at least express themselves the way they want to.
That's awesome. What if you had a high school kid or a college kid who was thinking they wanted to do photography or they wanted to start their own podcast? This makes it so doable.
It makes it doable. It's affordable. It's not highly priced. It is just in a way that everybody could afford it for the general public. And I'm not trying to make a price gouge or anything like that. I'd like people to come and see it and use the facility.
Yeah, you can start your podcast and then take your press photos right
There you
over
go.
here for your
Yes,
podcast.
you could.
Yeah. Speaking of the different rooms, you've got the bridal room over
Yes.
there, set up for all that. And during seasons changed, are you going to have other things like Easter for Easter?
Oh yeah,
Thanksgiving stuff.
We're going to have bunnies for Easter. We're going to have chimneys and Santa Clauses and Christmas trees for Christmas. We're going to change it during the holidays. We're going to create places that you could come in and do a selfie, take a quick picture, and then post the way you want to. You don't have to worry about anybody saying anything to you. You can just take it home with you and do what you want to.
Well, then you could order your own Christmas cards.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. You can have your own, you can do your own Christmas cards. We'll have a full Christmas setup. We've already got plans on that.
Yay.
Full Christmas setup, and then you can just sit down, stand, whatever you want to do in front of it, and do your photographs.
Harry, I've got 3 beautiful models at home that I'm sure would love to come up here and. Oh yeah, that's 4.
Yeah.
4. Sorry about that. Thanks. 4.
Yes, you do.
How do I go about reserving this space? Do I call you? Do I go online?
Right. You go online and you reserve the space at suncatcherstudiowf.com. And when you go in there, it'll help you through the steps to reserve the space, to give any information, special information you might need to give me in order to have the props that you want set out. We have props for infants, we have props for toddlers, then it goes up all the way to the adults, and have enough for business photographs, for suit and tie, or very casual things that anybody might want to use.
Very cool.
Hayden was wanting me to ask you, boudoir photo? No. No, not that kind of place.
No.
Golly, not that kind of place. Sheesh.
Well, I think we're going to show some B-roll of the different rooms.
That's probably a good
Yeah,
idea.
let's do that because I think this is a great concept. It's kind of new for Wichita Falls.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. The concept I've photographed in studios in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I looked at them and I said, we don't have anything like this in Wichita Falls. And when I started the idea, we didn't. Right now, there's a couple of places that are trying to do the same thing, but I decided that I wanted to make it for the general public, not just for professionals, and for everyone to grab their cell phones, to grab their good cameras, come down here and be able to photograph and create good images.
And
That's
just
awesome.
Thank you for staying in Wichita Falls and doing this.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm just glad you decided to retire here forever.
Yeah, Wichita Falls was really, really nice and great for my family, and we raised two daughters here, and I just love being in Wichita Falls.
That's
And it's a
awesome.
great hourly rate. So
Yeah.
get up here and get your photo on.
Get your photo
Yeah.
on.
All right. I'm glad thanks for having us here, Harry. This is
Oh,
awesome.
thank
You've
you
got
for
a
coming.
beautiful place here. In fact, I want to sign the show off from back here, if you don't mind. So,
Let me just focus.
No, we're good. Don't
You want me
worry.
to get out of the way?
He's more important. All right, for Jackie and Andrew and Harry from Suncatcher Studios, it's been The Social Space. We got one more segment, and then you guys have a good week.
This is a problem. That grind, that click, that constant leak. Whatever it is, you heard it last year, and you probably put it on your to-do list. Ah, the famous to-do list. Well, that list gets long, and so do the days. But your AC still needs a tune-up. You could wait for that first triple-digit degree day.
We're talking about consecutive days of triple-digit heat.
Or you could call
James Lane Air Conditioning and Plumbing. This is Laura.
Hey Laura, good to see you again. We don't like 102-degree weather, but we're climbing the ladder. We don't prefer hanging out in the crawl space, but we're down there chasing the leak. And we don't like when your AC has problems, but we like to fix them. James Lane Air Conditioning and Plumbing.
Welcome back to The Social Space. We are once again going to play for you our piece on the Wichita Falls Fire Department entitled 395, which just won a couple of Telly Awards. Enjoy.
When you lay your head down at night and you've got a business that you've shut the lights out for the night, you want to know that if something happens, you're in a community that is amongst the best. There's a lot of things in homes in particular that insurance doesn't replace. It doesn't replace World War II medals that are hanging in a frame. And so the speed of our response and the weight of our response becomes very important to protect those things. So ISO is an independent organization whose function it is to measure the effectiveness of a community's response to fire. ISO has evaluated more than 39,000 independent fire department jurisdictions across the country, and as of yesterday, there were only 394 fire departments that had achieved an ISO Level 1. We become number 395 in the nation.
This rating tells our citizens that living here is safe.
Right now we have several people wanting to come to town, and they're going to build $100, $200, $300 million facilities. One of the first things they're going to look at is this rating.
Businesses that are looking to locate to communities look at that ISO score because it directly impacts their insurance rates.
Damage to customer relationships, damage to the flow of operations, to your business as a going concern. Sometimes those impacts can last years.
The more we're able to share this story with others, the more likely they are to want to do business in Wichita Falls.
We've got a better chance in Wichita Falls of not ever getting to the point where we've lost our facilities due to fire.
Wichita Falls, like every city across the country, is subject to a new ISO evaluation every 10 years. They do so by evaluating various aspects within the fire department, our water supply system, and our dispatch center. And when they do the evaluation across literally dozens of those individual components, those scores are added up, and any score above 90 is considered an ISO Class 1. The City of Wichita Falls scored a 95.18.
We keep our families at home, and we want to feel safe and understand that we're going to be protected should something happen, that we've got the absolutely best fire protection system, the best fire department, the best firefighters that any community could possibly have.
It was an honor to lead that effort, but that effort was really accomplished because of the effort put in by our crews and that day-to-day coordination and cooperation that exists between the fire department, the water department, and our dispatch center. I think one of the things that's hard sometimes for outsiders to understand is what we refer to as the brotherhood or sisterhood of the fire service and belonging to something that's bigger than us. I believe that, our Creator designed us with a DNA that allows us to run into burning buildings when most people are inclined to run out. So for us, this is a calling.
Copy that. Engine 3 is on the scene and in command.
It's hard to put into words how proud I am of this organization and the support we get from our water department and our dispatch center. Achieving an ISO 1 is one of those things that most fire chiefs won't experience any time in their career. And it's just hard to put in words the value of that. How do you value a better night's sleep when you own a business here and know that it's within a community that has one of the best fire departments in the country?
I'm so proud of just our city and our fire department and the chief for working towards this.
The more people that find out about things like this, the more a positive story gets out there about Wichita Falls, no matter who it's from.
This ISO 1 rating is evidence that we're doing things right.
And I hope the citizens can understand what this ISO 1 rating really means to Wichita Falls. It's not just affecting one business or the other, or one residence or the other, it's affecting all 105,000 citizens.
When we go out into the field, out into the streets to help our neighbors, it doesn't feel like a job. It doesn't feel heroic. We oftentimes describe firefighters as not being heroes for what they do, but being heroes for what they're willing to do. Every single person on this fire department is willing to risk something to save that life.
To anyone that's watching this, when you see a firefighter, please acknowledge them, thank them.
Every day I pin this badge on and honored to be a part of this fire department in this city.